Ron Pierce, President and CEO of RSA Consulting Group. Welcome to the latest edition of Lobby Talk, and we're thrilled to have with us today Steve Griggs, the CEO of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So, Steve, welcome and thanks for being with us today.
Hey, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I was hoping we'd be able to talk and say that we're have a different outcome in the game last night, but we can talk about Stanley Cup Finals the next time we're together.
Well, it was. We're playing a tough team in the Islanders, and they just waited for that opportunity. And without Braden Point, I thought the lineup was a little different. But we got another crack at it tomorrow, and then hopefully we move on to the final, which would start on Saturday, which is pretty tight turnaround. But we're excited. We got a couple more kicks at the can here to get to the finals. I feel good about the team.
Good. Steve, can you share with everybody a little bit about, you're CEO of the Tampa Bay Lightning. I know you've got a rich experience within the sports and entertainment world. Maybe share with everybody kind of your path to ending up as CEO of the Lightning.
Yeah, it's starts up in Canada. So I played junior hockey, college hockey, went to school, did my master's down at Ohio University, but ended up back in Toronto working with the Leafs and the Raptors until about 2000. Then moved and built a brand new arena there. But then I moved to Minnesota and worked with Todd Lewicki, who you know quite well. We started the Wild and opened the XL Energy Center there. Was there for about 7 years, and then in 2007, I'm sure people know of the Amway Center over in Orlando. Worked on that for 3 years, building that arena and doing all the revenue and brand pieces for that. So I sort of have a track record of opening up new buildings. Todd came here in 2010 with Jeff Vinnick, and during that summer they were courting me to come work here, and Todd and I had worked together for 6 years. So before that, and it was, I was building the brand new building, and I finally decided to come over here once I got the building opened, and I've been here since 2010. I took the lead on the renovation of the building here. We've done about $100 million, and back in 2015, Todd left to go to the NFL, and now he's at the Seattle Kraken. But Jeff made me the CEO in 2015, and I've been blessed to work for the best owner in sports for the last 10 years, and he's been my boss for the last 5.
Wow. I can't believe it's been 10 years already. It seems like just yesterday that you were coming over from Orlando to Tampa. So it's unbelievable. So talk a little bit about the playoff run. Obviously, it's much different. I don't need to talk about that. But can you talk a little bit about, obviously, not having games in our building? Like last night, Game 5 would have been in our building last night. How do you, what has kind of been your secret recipe to kind of keeping staff and fans and season ticket holders kind of engaged in the playoff run?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's really been, even from back when we went on the pause, it was, okay, how do you keep our employees engaged and care for our employees and take care of our employees during this time, especially with the safe and healthy focus there on all of them. 2 is really the engagement of our fans and keeping them engaged through content. And also then taking care of our suites and sponsors and making sure that everyone is communicated with. So communication and connection were the 2 biggest things that we did, coming out of, July, and we moved to Toronto to be in the hub. Guys have been in a hub since July 27th. So they've been in there a long time. We have 51 people in the traveling party. But as the playoffs have gone along, we created the campaign Be the Distant Thunder, which is, plays off our Be the Thunder. And as the playoffs have gone on, you've seen us really ramp up that campaign, especially with the glass going up to, we had the signing here with all of our STMs to sign the glass, and then we sent it up, and it was actually inserted into the rink system up in Toronto. So we saw it on national television with, everyone signing the glass, and the players now have it in their break rooms that they have with where they have the ping pong and the TVs and all that. So that really was the focus on being the Thunder, and then creating all the content that goes around it that's behind the scenes, so the fans can feel like they're connected to to the team. With that, we've been, like you said, we would have the games here. We would have probably had, I want to say, close to 12 home games already. So that's a big difference of having 20,000 people in the building and another maybe 5,000 out on, Ford Thunder Alley. And then when we're away, we usually have, 8 to 10,000 over at Curtis Hickson Park. So we can't do all that now, which makes it, really different. I mean, quite frankly, when we beat Boston to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'm in the back room watching it by myself, and I come out to where my family is, my wife and my son and my daughter, and we high five, and then I'm like, well, I'm gonna go to bed now. So, which is very different than so we understand it's different, but what we've tried to do really now is ramp up the tribalism in the community. Sports is one thing that really galvanizes a community, and I think right now we could really use it. So I think you've seen the banners are up around the city. We've spent the money to, for car flags and magnets, and people have flags up on their balconies now. So, and our ratings are really good. So people are watching the games and they're invested in the game. So everything is from the outside is moving in the right direction. It's just so different when you don't have 20,000 people in the building. And but the NHL has done an incredible job with the bubble and starting with the 24 teams, and now we're down to 3 teams, and hopefully we're going to be down to 2 teams tomorrow. But we got retail wide open. We're selling retail. We started online, but now we've, as things have gotten better here with our COVID numbers, we've opened up both stores, the one at the mall and the one here. And then we've had some watch parties with our employees, and we're going to have one with our part-time employees on Saturday, no matter what. And then hopefully we can move, and we've got our plan in place. I think we're going to talk about a little bit about our reopening plan is how can we get some of our fans into the building just to really get a taste of the playoffs, even though it's going to be up in Edmonton.
Now Cigar City, you've also opened, you're starting to do a little bit of watch, in obviously limited capacity, but you've opened up that and maybe doing a little bit on the plaza level as well.
Yeah, so we opened up the Cigar City tap room last round. We can get about, with 50% capacity, we have 100 people in there. So actually last Friday when we had the watch party, we had our employees, we had about 200 employees in the bowl. There's about 100 people out on the plaza watching on the wall, socially distanced, of course. And then we had people in the tap room. So there was actually a sense of normalcy to the point we were down 3-1. And as you know, Ron, I can get kind of stressed out during playoff games and be just standing around. So I actually came to my office and watched the third period on my TV, which is normal for me.
Yeah.
So.
You talked about it a second ago, Steve. Can you highlight, obviously you all are working on a plan to reopen the building safely. There's a lot of different folks you need to kind of check boxes to be able to do that. Obviously the fan experience is going to be a little bit different from when the last time many people were in the building in the middle to the beginning of March to potentially January. What is that fan experience going to look like, and when do you expect to be able to actually have some events in the building?
We're in touch with promoters all the time as it relates, and I'll get back to the opening of the building. We're in touch with promoters all the time, and they're having a feel of when they could go into a building. And obviously, we're talking with the Felds of the world, the Live Nations of the world, NHL. Like, we're going to finish now and probably see if we can roll back into the building come January, either end of December or January from a hockey perspective. Maybe even earlier with a couple of other socially distanced events. So we've been working on a plan for the last 4 to 5 months, saying what does the building need to look like to reopen, and we've been doing research, basically weekly on where is the consumer confidence of when will they come back in the building, what's the building got to look like, how much are they really focused on what we need to be doing to make this a safe and healthy environment? So for us, it was really, we've built about a 200-page plan that's now in front of the city, it's in front of the county, it's in front of our medical advisors. So we're focused on making sure that they think we've done all the right things. We have an infection and safety specialist that we have on board now that's helping us to really, we're looking at accreditation for both a wellness and an arena health and wellness standpoint. We work with the Hillsborough County on the CARES Act to get even more equipment and the types of things to make sure that this building is safe and sanitized, like bipolar ionization, UV lighting, sneeze guards, all of those key things will be in our building as far as, and then you talk about how do you queue the building to get people into the building, all the sanitization stations, how do the restrooms need to look, how do the concourses need to look, what does the manifest need to look like when you have to be 6 foot apart? So we're looking at manifests that are 25%, 50%, really analyzing our ingress and egress of the building. So all of those things have come into place. So we have built a really robust plan on how we're going to clean the building before the game, after the game, during the game. We're testing stuff out right now. There'll be a clean team in our building, so we'll have to add another 100 people part-time every single game just to make sure that they're cleaning every single piece of the building. So all those, and then we'll also become a frictionless building. So as it relates to coming, through the megatometers, nobody's going to touch it. Everything's going to be mobile ticketing, cashless building, POS systems will all be frictionless. So we've thought about everything. We're working with a lot of people throughout the industry. And, my mandate was that we were going to have the very, very best plan to have the safest and cleanest building in North America. So all of that's running into play now. Like I said, we have small groups in the building now. And then hopefully next week we can look to, maybe put 1,500 season ticket members in the building to do a watch party so we can start to ease our way into it. But if you're looking at 25 to 30%, you're looking at 5,000 people in the building. Now, that being said, hopefully that timing of that comes in December and January, and hopefully we can, depending on where the therapeutic drugs are, the vaccine are, we can start to move to 50%, 75%, 100%, and get back to what we do best, is holding world-class events in this building.
So hockey season normally, we're in the middle of preseason right now. Camp's going on. Usually hockey season starts at the beginning of October, with the playoffs going into October. Regular season for next year won't start until January. Is that kind of the plan at this point?
Yeah, either the end of December or January is what we've heard, but it's the virus is in control of when we play, and so like I said, the NHL has done a fabulous job with the bubble. I think they've gone 7 weeks, over 30,000 tests, and not one positive test, and so they've really done an incredible job. And the game presentation, the quality of play has all been fabulous, and it's both been in Toronto and in Edmonton. So the only downfall of all that is the restrictions of trying to get some people over the border to be there for the Cup Finals.
And hopefully they'll work on that. I know you're all working hard on that. It'd be nice to get obviously families in to be able to enjoy that, but also get the some members of your team in there as well. So.
Yeah, like the owner.
Yeah. Let's talk briefly about Amalie Arena was just announced it's going to be a site for early voting. Can you share with everybody, that was something that was really important to you and I think Mr. Vinnick, and why was that something you wanted to lead the charge on?
Well, I just think it's the right thing to do. Voting is a choice, and as a Canadian, I know it's a patriotic duty to vote. I can't vote here, but I can up in Canada still. We want to be leaders of the community, and we talked with a lot of people about how we could do it. We wanted to be a super site, but obviously they don't need as many super sites. So we're going to be an early voting site for Amalie Arena. We've already done that already with the Yingling Center the last time. So we've already been doing this. We've talked to there 90% of people have registered already. So we were going to actually put a plan into place about getting people to register to vote, but we heard great news this week that like 90% of Hillsborough voters have already registered. But for us, it's making sure moving forward, we're going to create a bold vote campaign, which is, education and the ability and the act to voting, but obviously making sure we're nonpartisan, because as I've said to you before, we're a uniter of the community, not a divider. And so uniting the community and making sure everyone is voting. So we'll do that with the early voting as well as the promoting of voting. And then, for us, we'll create that PSA campaign after the playoffs, put that into place. And then, we're going to give our entire office the day off to make sure that they vote. So it'll just be Matt Hill and I here at the office.
Holding down the fort, right?
Exactly.
Steve,
we're excited about that. And Jeff is, you see a lot of NBA teams doing it, a lot of NHL teams doing it. So, just trying to be good community partners and doing the right thing and making sure people have the opportunity to vote.
Good. And that's important. And obviously, I mean, like you said, it's important for everybody to get out to vote and give more people the opportunity. It's a site most people know how to get to, easy parking, easy to get in and out of. And I know that, Craig Latimer, the supervisor of elections of Hillsborough, was excited to be able to have you all as an early voting site.
Yep.
Steve, let's end with, obviously community engagement is so important to you and the organization. You all do so much on an annual basis, but you have done so much, have gone above and beyond during COVID. Can you talk about maybe some of those efforts? And more importantly, just talk about why is it so important for you as a professional sports team to be as engaged as you are in the community?
Well, I think I talked about one, as a public entity, during the great times, we can galvanize a community. And the fans give so much to our organization, both financially and emotionally. Jeff came here in 2010 and community was the number one thing. And it's our responsibility and our duty to give back. And I think Jeff's been doing that long before he even came to Tampa Bay. He's taught his children how to do that, and he's taught all of us how to do that, to continually give back. And, when we were hit with COVID, March 11th, we knew we were going on pause. We paid all of our part-time workers for the missed events. We have all of our employees still with us at 100% pay. But Jeff came to us and said, what can we do during these times? What is the right thing to do? I think Mark Twain says it's never wrong to do the right thing. First of all, he wrote a check for almost $1 million for Metropolitan Ministries. But then he said, what more can we do? What can the Lightning do as we sit here in the pause? And if you think, he said, all these programs were coming out through both the county as well as the federal government, is, the PPP loans, the SBA loans, signing up for unemployment, how to get food during this time. If a lot of people had food insecurity. So we used all of our assets, all the money we had spent on billboards and, digital, social, all of those different elements. We had radio, TV. We used all of our assets and then some, so that we could communicate to the community about how they can go about finding these resources and getting the help they need, because a lot of people didn't know how to get the help. So, I mean, we spent close to $500,000 just on advertising, so people knew where to go to get these resources. So that was really important at the very start of COVID. Over the course of the last 6 months, we've made over 400,000 meals for Feeding Tampa Bay. We've kept on all the Delaware North employees, and they've been making meals every single day. So 400,000 meals, and I think we're going to close in probably by the end of September on 500,000 meals for Feeding Tampa Bay. The Yingling Center is actually a feeding super site for Feeding Tampa Bay, so we're doing that every Wednesday with Feeding Tampa Bay. So those have been some things right away. The other one was, we do the community hero every single game, $50,000. We missed 7 games, but Jeff wanted to make sure that we went out to see those agencies and those people that are doing God's work in this community, especially during these times. And we made sure we gave them their $50,000. We met with them. You know, there were 7 of them, so that was $350,000. I went out and personally delivered the checks to them with Elizabeth Fraser, who you know quite well. Everybody's got the mask on. But we made sure that once we unpaused, we went out there and made sure that we were taking care of them, and then we'll celebrate them at the arena in front of 20,000 people when we get back to normal time. So those were, you know, some of those things. And of course, we're playing games. So Jeff says we got to do the community hero, even though we don't have any fans in the building. So, you know, the first 200, for the first round against Columbus, we did 200,000, and it went to a number of different charities and agencies that were, you know, with social justice, fighting racism. So that was the first 200,000. Second 200,000 for when we played Boston was for the frontline workers, the nurses and the doctors. And so we gave to the 4 hospital foundations of HCA, Baycare, Advent, and TGH. And we had all the nurses here and the doctors here, and we did the photos with their masks on. And then we just, for the Islander series, we just gave away another 200,000 to all the teacher foundations. So the 6 counties around us, Pinellas and obviously Hillsborough, Polk, Manatee, Sarasota, who am I missing? Polk and Pasco. So another 200,000. So, you know, that's 600,000. And if we do go to the Stanley Cup final, which we think we win tomorrow night, and then we go on, we'll announce a $400,000 community hero award that we'll be announcing, but I can't tell you who it is because we will have to wait till we get to the final. I don't want to jinx anything. So we've done a lot of, you know, plus we've gone out and done a lot of stuff as it relates to, we call it strikes of kindness. You know, we've been doing Meals on Wheels this entire time, you know, signs for seniors, all those types of things, doing a lot of virtual giving back too. So not only financial, but also a lot of stuff where we're getting out there and making sure we're making this a better community. And that's on us to make sure we're continuing to do that, because like I said, this community has given so much back to our organization. And so we're very thankful, and we're very, very blessed to work for Jeff Vinik. And we're very blessed to have Jeff Vinik in our community.
Absolutely. And we're blessed to have you and your leadership team in our community, you know, being able to, you know, advocate and do the things you're doing on behalf of Mr. Vinik. So on behalf of so many people, Steve, thank you for, you know, for all that the organization does. Thank you for, you know, making it a priority of the organization to be as involved as you are in the community.
Well,
so
we're glad we can help.
So let's end with, you know, best of luck tomorrow night. Hopefully we can have you back on in the future. We can talk about the Stanley Cup run and all the exciting things that go along with, you know, with that opportunity. But, you know, obviously wish you and the team the best tomorrow night. Obviously, as you see from our team, we'll be watching and cheering you on. But we appreciate you being on with us today and making the time to share with everybody all the great things that you and your team and Tampa Bay Lightning are doing in our great community.
All right. Well, Ron, thank you. You're a huge fan of ours, and we appreciate everything you and your team do for us. And your families be safe and healthy, and go Bolts.
Go Bolts. We'll see you soon. Thank you,
All
Steve.
right, thanks.